Aries, hello. Welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. This is going to be your monthly reading for November 2025. And as you can see, I got my stickies out here. So we're going to be taking a look at what you're letting go as we head into November, what you should be embracing as we head into this month, the theme of the month for you, and then I'm going to put a card here that we're going to flip over at the end, and that's going to be any kind of final thoughts from Spirit. Okay, I pre-shuffled all the cards here, but we are just going to shuffle just a little bit more just to see. Show me, Aries, as we head into November, please. Show me, Aries, as we head in to November 2025. One more time. Show me, Aries, please, as we head into the month of November. Thank you. All right, let's see here. And final thoughts. We're going to keep that kind of on its side until we're ready at the end, okay? And then we have this here. So let's talk about it. Letting go, Nine of Swords, panic, anxiety, doubt, right? Fear, really fear. Embracing here, the Tower. So embracing change. Two of Wands in the shadow, I feel, is speaking on that as well, right? You have a choice in terms of, you very much have a choice of how this is gonna, where you're gonna direct your energy, okay? Two of Wands as well. That is Aries starting a new cycle, right? Aries cards are 2, 3, 4. So it feels like the energy here in the shadow is at least starting something new, the start of something new. But in order to do that, we need to let go of what we're holding on to. And that could be some fears here. The theme being the 10 of Wands, something needs to come to an end. And that's kind of what it feels like this Tower is trying to shake up here. The Tower, embrace that Tower, embrace that change that comes with that Tower, that kind of destruction that is necessary to bring about change. With this 10 of Wands here, it feels like a final push. This feels like it's a long time coming here. So yeah, just really, it feels like we're tackling in the month of November, Aries, some themes that, or some cycles that have been playing out over an extended period of time. And as well, we do have that Wheel of Fortune prior to any cards coming out. So really kind of keeping in that theme of, you know, the time has come for us to release some of these things, right? Okay, let's get some clarification here on that Nine of Swords. Let's get some clarification on that Nine of Swords, please. Okay. Let's get some clarification on that 10 of Wands. Let's get some clarification on that 10 of Wands, please, for Aries. Let's get some clarification on that 10 of Wands, please. And some clarification on that Tower for Aries, please. Let's get some clarification on that Tower. Oh. Yeah. Let's get some clarification for Aries on that Tower. You see that Tower wants to pop out too. Double in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with that Nine of Swords energy here in terms of what you should be letting go of as we head into November. Aries, you have the Ten of Wands, Judgment, and Queen of Cups on its side, right? So letting go and the theme here really showing up to be connected here. You need to let go of it feels like delaying this finish or delaying this end, letting go of everything that's kind of burdening you, taking on too much, overwhelmed, overworked, overstimulated for some, right? And for others of you, the fear of what happens when that cycle finishes or when you kind of lighten your load, right? What happens then? What becomes of Aries when there's nothing left to prove, kind of idea, right? With the Queen of Cups on the side here, the presence of exploring your cup, the presence of exploring boundaries is here, but it's not being, we're not doing anything with it. So it's kind of like acknowledging that your cup is there and that you have boundaries, but not doing anything to explore that or go any deeper. So it really does feel like letting go of the things that are keeping our hands busy, Aries, so that we can focus on closing out cycles and patterns that are important, right? We need to free our hands, we need to free our minds, we need to free our energy of things that are kind of taking up space and are really cluttering busy work, right? And it feels like whatever this is, it's been long attached to you, and so that's why there's such difficulty in letting it go. But as well with that Judgment, it's like so necessary, right? You've reached a time where it feels necessary to be making these changes, to be letting go of these things, in essence, kind of dropping these wands, dropping this from demanding your energy, dropping these tasks from taking up energy that could be better utilized elsewhere, right? Embracing here, we're going to flip to here. So embracing with that Tower, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Devil in reverse, as well as that Knight of Swords in reverse. So embracing a kind of this Tower as an opportunity here to release some of the things that are holding you back. If you want to take it literally, release some of those demons and release some of that kind of thought that rushes in. The Knight of Swords is kind of that bully of the tarot, right? That judgment, right? That the critical thinking, and not critical in the good sense, like the critical of others, judging of others too harshly or too quickly, or judging ourselves from a negative standpoint, right? It's this idea of let's clear that. There's an opportunity to clear that up as we get rid of and end whatever cycle is that we need to let go of, right? There's kind of a delay that's here with that Nine of Swords, right? And it's this thing that it feels long standing. It feels like it's been tugging at you for some time, for years. Some of you, it could be this kind of low grade anxiety, or this kind of paranoia, or imposter syndrome. Okay, take it as it resonates, Aries, but it feels like whatever it is, we're coming to a time where we need to let it go. This needs to be addressed. We need to put this behind us, this kind of fear-based thinking, right? So that you can free up your mind and free up your energy to gain success in the way that you want to, right? So for example, not moving out of fear, but moving out of a way that you, not letting fear be your guide, but letting what it is that you truly want to go after be your guide, right? And so you have to free up your time, your energy, your brain, to even get on board to the fact that you are worthy of what it is that you truly want for yourself, as opposed to operating out of fear. for example. Okay, Aries. So heading into that embrace position, we have to disrupt this pattern, right? There needs to be some sort of pattern disruption here before you can capitalize on this opportunity to kind of shake loose what it appears to be that devil and that Knight of Swords energy, that bullish energy, those negative thoughts, patterns, behaviors, actions, right? Turning the devil on its head, turning the bully on its head, to see it for what it is, to recognize it, and to release the hold that these negative thought patterns, ideas, beliefs, actions, etc. have, to release the hold that has on us, Aries, in order to best move forward, right? Especially with that Eight of Wands energy. You want to move past this. Six of Pentacles in that shadow there on the clarifiers, right? You want to direct your energy elsewhere. How do we attain that balance, right? Even speaking on, kind of the calm that's there, change and transformation with death coming through as well, acknowledging the hurt that's there, the hurt that we've kind of inflicted on ourselves, right? Or that we've taken on because, we were taught to believe this or whatever it is, right? The point being that this is some long-standing belief that we are trying to close out, some long-standing habit or pattern that we are trying to close the cycle on, okay? But first you need to address it and kind of combat it here in order to see it for what it is and release it and move forward with that Eight of Wands energy like you're trying to do, right? So the theme here with that Ten of Wands, we do have that clarified by the Five of Pentacles, Justice here, so Libra energy, right? Ironically, you're not showing up here, but your sign opposite is with that Libra energy. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles as well. So it could be this idea when Justice comes up, this decision has been made, right? And perhaps, for some of you, there was a decision that was made of this might be too specific, but perhaps there was a decision that was made of your worth long ago, right? And you decided long ago what you were worthy of. And now it's time to, or you were told long ago what your worth was and you believed it. And now you're at a point where you're finally addressing that worth, that value that you place on yourself, right? And realizing that perhaps you're worth more than what you thought, or your position is more important than it was, right? Again, this might be too specific of an example for some, but I feel like it does resonate for others. There was a choice that was decided, and now we are addressing that choice. Is it still the right choice? Is it still relevant, this decision? Or do we need to change our perspective here? Do we need to change, does this still apply as we move forward, right? It does feel like whatever this decision was or this belief was, it was built out of perhaps necessity. It was built out of struggle. It was built out of lack, okay? And it became perhaps a motivator or a driver or what, like a reason to keep going, whatever this is, okay? Again, take it as it resonates here. But now we're at a point where we need to drop some of this off and come to a conclusion on, is this going to take us any further? Or is this decision that we made long ago, or this belief that we decided long ago, is it going to take us where we want to be, right? Yeah. For others, this could be karmic justice as well. And this idea of It could even be generational trauma. And being in a place where maybe you're not ready to deal with it, or maybe you are, but it's starting to present itself in a more clear picture or clear vision. And you have to free up some of your time, some of your energy here in order to address this and give it the full attention that it appears to deserve, right? So that you can embrace this change and move on and address these heartaches and these triggers and these issues, right? With the full weight of what is required. So, you know, again, with that generational trauma, it could be something where it's starting to present, or maybe you're starting to think, you know, I've come across these patterns and I keep bumping my head against them. And maybe you're starting to realize that it could be generational, right? So very interesting here. But all of that kind of to say that you need to let go of the fear and put down what isn't yours, and kind of let the disruption in order to start addressing these things and really get to a point where you're no longer identifying with the lack, with the lack mindset, okay? Or with the less than mindset. It's really, or that I'm not worthy of this, okay? Let's get some more clarification here for Aries. Let's get some more clarification for Aries. Let's get some more clarification on that Nine of Swords, please. The Lovers. So it could be you and, you know, a soul bond connection here. This could be you with, as it relates to the person that you want to be, right? Your past lifting up your future self, right? And kind of, we have to let go of who we were to be who we are and to be who we're meant to be. And that's kind of more how this is, how I'm seeing this Lover's card as it relates to what you need to let go. You need to say goodbye to a version of you in order to open yourself up to the version of you that you want to be, right? Let's get more clarification and final thoughts on that Tower, please, for Aries. Eight of Swords, Knight of Wands. Right? It's this idea we have to look in the mirror in terms of what's holding us back. How are we limiting ourselves as we try to move forward, right? Knight of Wands. You can't really move on when your hands are tied. You can't really continue on when you're stuck in something. You kind of have to, you know, how she's staring into the water there. You have to address that. You have to come, you know, come to the mirror, do that shadow work, look at who you are head on, warts and all, you know what I mean? And address that part of you, address that part of your past in order to move forward, right? And direct your energy forward into where you want to go, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's kind of like you have to really just allow that chaos to come through so that you can move forward in clear water, with a clear path, with vision and purpose, right? To be the person you want to be. Let's get some final thoughts on that 10 of Wands, please, for Aries. Eight of Wands. And the Three of Pentacles, yeah, starting something new, right? Building something new, creating, starting from, not from scratch, I don't want to say that, but starting from a different level of awareness, perhaps from a different perspective, letting others in or other things in that you didn't have room for before, right? Eight of Wands here, yeah. It just feels very personal, this work. It feels very much, you know, home focused, individual focused. This idea, it's interesting because we have the Eight of Wands here, right? But we also have the Eight of Wands here in terms of the theme. Just focusing your energy, utilizing your energy to the best way possible to realize your full potential. In the typical kind of Rider-Waite version here, we have that energy wanting to move on, wanting to move forward from whatever we're kind of sticking to right now. In this interpretation here, as for the clarifier for your theme for November, Aries, we have it building a home, right? And addressing things within that home, which speaks further on kind of addressing that generational trauma that is passed from, generation to generation here. And for some, maybe putting an end to that, right? Kind of stopping where you are in order to fully address that or start that process. But as well, directing your energy and kind of utilizing all of these different energetic points, right? To focus yourself or zero your energy in on what is the most important, right? And overall, that seems to be the theme here. What is the most important thing to get Aries from here to where they want to be? And that really does seem to be the focus of November. Very individuals, very much an internal battle. Not really speaking on much movement, what I can see here. But definitely very personal work that we're doing as we head into November, Aries. We're going to flip this card over and see what final thought. Temperance, balance. Finding that balance. Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense, right? Making sure your mind, your heart, your energy, your thought are all in harmony. And for some of you, maybe for the first real time, right? This really does feel like operating from a place of lack or a place of less than. And for some of you, and please let me know in the comments if this is true for you, that has been your motivator, right? And now perhaps, Aries, you're in a place where you recognize that, or you have found lately that operating from a less than mindset is not helping you, it's holding you back. And now it's time to figure out why. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. And Temperance, it's finding the balance and really embracing that level of awareness to realize that's where you're at here, right? And you can't always focus on doing the thing. We have to slow that down and focus on, okay, well, how best do we direct our energy in order to do the thing, right? Interesting. Let's see here. Some final thoughts. Final thoughts for Aries. Sun. Paint the sun back in your sky. Number 11 there. Anything else? Anything else for Aries here? Lavender. Surround yourself with love. Yeah, definitely more tender-hearted messages for you, Aries. And, with Temperance coming through as kind of the final thoughts, from Spirit here that really does make sense, kind of seeing that softer side, and as well just kind of that cyclical. I'm focusing on that circle there. I'm focusing on the circle that she's drawing. This idea of, everything comes full circle, right? And almost this idea as well of rewriting your history, or starting from the point that you are at now to write your future, right? And that really it takes great strength to be vulnerable in that way, and to be tender and loving and accepting in that way. And so it really is quite lovely. It's gentle, right? And this does require you to be kind of gentle and caring to yourself, right? To that negative self-talk that kind of comes in, and that voice that tells us we're not worthy or we're not deserving or whatever it is, right? So that's what I have for you, Aries. Heading into November. I hope this gives you some clarification and some insight. Please do drop it in the comments. Let me know what it is that you're working on here, because it really is some lovely energy here, some very gentle confrontation energy, but overall, balance is the name of the game here. So beautiful. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope this gives you some clarity and insight here, and I wish you all the best, Aries. We'll see you next time. You take care.